Polaris sent shockwaves through the ATV industry almost 3 years ago with the introduction of the revolutionary XP Sportsman chassis. On this week's test ride, we're going to have a look at the latest and highest form of the XP species, the 850 Sportsman XP High Output with electronic power steering. Over the years, Polaris has been liberal in their use of the HO, or High Output designation. Whenever the Minnesota ATV and side-by-side sales leader adds the HO designation, we sit up and pay attention. In the case of the 850 XP's use of the letters, it amounts to a tangible and very much appreciated 15% kick in peak horsepower and a commensurate increase in usable torque. It's the increase in low-end grunt which impresses us the most. The new HO 850 will literally pull a house, or at the very least, an ice fishing hut. It's more than a little interesting that when Polaris decided to bump up the 850 Sportsman, they didn't increase its displacement. The increase in power came from a relatively simple increase in throttle body diameter to 42 millimeters and smoothing out of the intake track. Still, we wonder why the company didn't just punch the thing out to 1,000 cc's. Polaris knew Can-Am upped the ante in the big bore sport utility class when the 1,000 cc Outlander arrived. Their answer for the time being is to pump up the current 850 XP Sportsman. When Polaris introed the XP chassis almost 3 years ago, they brought incredible innovation to the 4x4 market. In particular, the longitudinal orientation of the engine completely erased twin-cylinder engine ergo problems, making the XP as narrow in the footrests as any good dirt bike. Add in the Sportsman's CG lowering gas tank placement, all new double A-arm IFS, and rolled rear IRS employing 14-inch wheels, raising ground clearance to a full 12 inches, all while improving handling, and then consider brushless electronic power steering, and you've got another industry-leading big bore sport ute 4x4. It seems almost inconsequential to mention all the other Polaris indigenous features on the XP because full floorboards, composite racks, single lever brakes, and true 4x4 have been on Polaris ATVs for more than 15 years. It's interesting to note that the XP's counterbalanced single overhead cam parallel twin engine uses a highly unusual 270-degree firing order to produce an auditory cadence which is identical to that of a V-twin. We also believe that Polaris did this because the original Sportsman 800 twin had a rather odd and flat auditory signature from its even firing crankshaft. The XP produces that sweet potato-potato V-twin music without encroaching on your left footrest or without any V-twin vibration. So what does high output mean when you're on the trail? For sure, the extra power is tangible in comparison to the non-HO 850 motor. So is the newfound throaty intake growl from the redesigned airbox and intake runners. When it's time to work the XP, the HO's extra power is welcome. However, the real sweetness of the XP is its incredible smooth ride and predictable handling. Polaris rolled IRS still delivers the best rough trail ride in the biz. The XP brought something else with it we appreciate when it arrived in 2009. Vastly improved fit and finish. All XPs are painted with a tough-as-nails paint finish we find very appealing. As well, the vehicle exudes a strong performance persona and a broad-shouldered look that resonates with the market. When you first throw the XP into a tight turn, wick the throttle, and hang off the comfy saddle, you know the chassis' low CG and longitudinal engine positioning was a bit of genius by the Roseau engineers. It's so easy to move around on the XP because there's 30% more room on the footrests. The brushless proportional EPS system provides a completely transparent feel through the bars, allowing you to saw inputs without a hint of violent feedback from rocks and roots. Here's another benefit of the HO's increased jam. Big wheel mud runners will love the XP's unimpeded ability to spin large, aggressive mud meets. With EPS and HO, the XP becomes not only a mouthful of acronyms, but a better big bore sport utility 4x4 that will exceed more buyers' expectations in model year 2012.